is the rest of this week's training. Things have been pretty busy with my schedule. I haven't had a chance to really post anything. But this is what my deadlifts with some bands, push press, and cleans and snatches look like. I was pretty beat up for the rest of the week. I'm not exactly sure why. I probably just was. So whatever the fucking reason, got through the training, and this is it. So enjoy and check out the commentary. So a little bit more breakdown, full training session here. This is 2 training sessions, and the reason I haven't updated this week is A, I've been busy, and B, the weather has been too fucking nice to sit in here and video edit. But I digress. Here's what it looks like. So this is still speed stuff. I decided to add some bands today because it felt like the thing to do. I really wasn't interested in training, so putting bands on it, I don't know, sparked my interest at least a little bit to do something different. Going to be a lot of deadlifts here. So this week is 12 triples on kind of a minute rest, and it's brutal to do. Pretty happy with how things moved and how things felt. Some of these are a little longer recording, like this one, for example, that is 2 sets together, and kind of gives you a look of the amount of rest I take between these sets in real time. And that's kind of what I mean as far as speed. It's going to be a mixture of, since it's such a sub-maximal load, say around 65% with some bands, I'm really trying to overload the system by making it do more and fire as hard as I can at lighter weights. So I'm really trying to move the weight as fast as I can and violently. And this is going to help transfer for when I start throwing into the lighter weight implements that I do throw. Deadlift not being my best bet. This isn't the greatest band setup, but it got the fucking job done, and another day down. Pretty happy about all of it as a whole. If I get asked about why I'm pulling with straps, is well, basically because it doesn't fucking matter. My grip's never been an issue, and my hands get a little beat up from throwing, and since I'm throwing more now, it makes more sense for me to save my thumbs and save whatever I can on my hands to use it then, since the grip strength really isn't the issue, but the abuse on the hands will really start wearing through during the season. Hook gripping is really a pain in the ass for Olympic lifts, but I'm going to clean once a week, so I can't afford to trash my hands deadlifting, throwing, and trying to Olympic lift. I need them to work for throwing. Also for these, I'm really trying to focus on trying to keep my back a little flatter and a little stronger and keep my hips lower through the deadlift. Despite deadlifting not being a big goal of mine, I do want to be better at it. I think of all the 4 lifts that I show here, this is a mixture of 2 of my days combined. I think I actually show all the deadlift reps. I don't think I show all of the push press or snatch or clean. Trying this style of training, it is fucking fatiguing. I also recommend keep track on something of how many sets and everything you've done, because your brain's not going to work. It is basically just be a robot, get in, and pull as hard as you can every set. I stayed beltless because the weight's relatively light, and I want to build the core strengths for throwing. It's really a help. I switched here to a deficit, just so I know there's something different to do for the remaining, 3 or 4 sets that I end up doing from a deficit. I also find that since I have a tendency to not use my legs when I deadlift, or my ass shoots up early, that if I'm on a plate, at least for multiple reps, I really have a tendency to at least feel my legs get involved. Switching to push press, these felt heavy the whole way through. This week felt heavy. When I say that it felt heavy, the weights that I wanted to move at the speed I wanted to move weren't jiving together. So what's important for me is that I'm moving weights at a certain speed. I'm going to start implementing the Tendo unit that I have in my training, and really start trying to pay attention to some numbers and keep some feedback that way, something different to chase. But these actually didn't look as bad as they felt. They felt heavy. These at 275 went pretty well, but I'm pretty gassed by this point. Diet's been really clean this week, and so The only real change is I'm doing 50 grams of carbs pre-workout, 50 grams of carbs during workout, and then 50 post. So that and the amount of time I've spent on the road this week was pretty bad. Probably 23, 24 hours or so in my truck, I guess, if I had to make a guess, but that's what it is. Just sucks. But, time to get it unfucked. What I did in video is the mobility stuff I've been doing. There's been a lot of that at night when I'm at home. This is some trunk twist I've been adding in. Also helps with some stretching and getting low and kind of feeling the hips push and then stop weight, just like if I'm throwing, trying to find that connection between my ground, the ground and my power again. So it's another thing that I've started throwing in. It's a great accessory, and they're really fucking hard. And then these are some wines, plate wines. Did these a lot in college as throwing hammer. Really similar to the Scottish hammer. I'm trying to find the right hand here that I'm pushing on every throw. And that should help translate into my throw. Looking at some slow-mo videos from later this week, I really am not doing a lot of right-hand push, which is necessary. Did 3 rounds of each of those accessories, and then did 3 rounds of some conditioning here with I did hip circle walks with the prowler, and then some side shuttle walks. You can see here I've got these sped up a little bit to save us time, since it's really exciting to watch a guy do this dumb shit. But all in all, pretty happy with how this training session went. And then on to my Olympic day on Friday. Got in the gym late after a long day in the truck. Again, like I said, please don't mistake about me saying long day in the truck. I'm really not complaining as matter as I'm just stating fact as I spent a long day in the truck. I'm not trying to use that as a reason why I'm not pushing as hard or any of that stuff. I hit my prescribed weights this week, even though that some felt heavy and some felt shit. So my Olympic lifts this week were 10 or 12 doubles or 10 doubles, sorry, at whatever percentage this ended up being. But so worked up to 275 for my 10 doubles and the snatch. And these are pretty tough. They felt heavy as well, but they should. So as my deadlift, squat, bench, and push press are pretty low percentage, my cleans and snatch are going to be a little higher percentage during this block, so that I'm actually still getting some strength work here. It's not just simply a speed movement on the Olympic lifts. Too light in the Olympic lifts, and you really don't have to work a whole hell of a lot, so there's got to be a certain amount of weight on the bar that you've got to do things right-ish in my case, since I'm not a great lifter. Rightish enough that you're transferring power and doing weight. And my goal here is I'm really doing everything power style. I'm not concerning myself with being a good Olympic lifter at the moment as much as I want to move weight overhead as quickly as possible. And that's where I'm going to get the most carryover once I start throwing again. I definitely didn't record all the sets here. But you can kind of see the difference in the clock in the background and where it's ticking along. I think my Olympic lifts and everything all worked out to a little over an hour. But I'm trying to keep the rest down on those too. I'm trying to build that work capacity. My cleans felt fucking awful the first couple sets, but I really didn't know if I was going to be able to get all of them through the workout, but it ended up working out and just kind of gutting it out and walking to the bar the next set instead of saying, oh, that's enough, I'm tired. Just walk to the bar and do it. And that's how it kept going. But that's training at home without any help. There's some benefits to that. Talking with a friend is as many days as it's nice to train with somebody else and get that little extra push. One of the things about me training alone for as long as I have in my garage is there's not any ego there. There's no one for me to show off to. There's no one, to see me lift. So I can really react and respond to what my body's telling me. So if things are heavy, they feel heavy, I'll make the adjustments and go down and do things correctly. If things are light, I'll add some more weight. If I'm tired or I feel something starting to tweak, I back off. I don't have to have someone saying, oh, come on, man, one more set, you pussy, or any of that shit. It just doesn't fucking matter. The only person I'm working for here is me. So, but all in all, pretty happy that I hit the 10 doubles at 140 kilos in whatever time frame it took without any misses. Next week will be exciting as well with 8 doubles at a little heavier weight. But it's heavy enough that I've got to get my shit together once I move to the bar and actually think about cleaning it, especially after all the snatches and whatever else I did this week. Trying to work on my upper back. I'm still having a big hitch. That's coming from not doing enough Olympic lifts. So added some couple sets of shrugs here. One of the things Jesse and I have talked about is trying to put some more mass around me on the shoulders, and it should help me survive a little bit more of how brutal this season is. So I'm doing some little hypertrophy work and putting some stuff on wherever I get beat up. Thanks, and enjoy and check out everything else.